So today I decided that I wanted to go out to the park because when I was sitting at home, I don't know, I was kind of feeling a little anxious. And so the best thing I found to do when I get anxious is to just go somewhere, just get out of the house. Sometimes I'll go running, other times I'll go make a film, maybe go to the casino, though I don't really try to gamble, so not so much that one. Or I'll just go for a drive. I'm in kind of like this circular part of, well, Vegas is like basically a giant crater, and we're in the middle of it. And so no matter where I go in Vegas, I'm still inside of this little like container, I feel like, and it kind of feels like I'm trapped. Jesus. I can do both. Don't tell health insurance about this though, or don't tell car insurance.
Don't tell anybody that might see this video.
Yeah. It's not too distracting.
What makes you happy, Danny?
What makes me happy? I would throw the question right back at you and be like, what is happiness?
Well, try to answer it.
Well, it's a shitty question, so why would I answer a shitty question?
All right, what is happiness to you?
Well, I would say the first thing is like, happiness is very relative and means very little because it's such a generic term. So what I feel like you're maybe trying to ask is like, what brings me contentness or a sense of purpose? And I would say this, what makes me happy, freedom makes me happy, and I don't mean that in just the most generic way. I mean like freedom, like the freedom to live your life how you want to live it, free from constraint. In my case, I have a high-paying job that brings me very little joy, and so I have realized the thing that makes me happy is the thought of not being in that job anymore, and being free to do whatever I want.
You don't have freedom in your job.
No, I don't. I have very little freedom in my job. The Great Trail. What if the whole hike was just a first-person view of me hiking the trail? It would be really bumpy. It's just so beautiful. Yeah. Well, starting when I got back last year from my overseas thing, I started making videos pretty frequently, probably on average about 10 videos a month. Not all of them are good.
What do you get out of that experience of making videos? Like, what's the thing that...
Well, at first it was just like me wanting to explore doing more film stuff because I enjoy it and I knew I kind of had a knack for it. Like, I understand it and it makes me feel confident. And then also there was the money thing that was coming out of it. I was starting to make a little bit more money, which was great. But now I've done it for about 6 months, where I was focused more on like how to like make money. Now I've sort of gotten tired of that, and I just decided I would start making films more about just what I was interested in. And so I've slowly been evolving more into like exploring, I guess, the culture around me and my own sort of inner existential crisis, basically. I started off by buying an interview microphone because I thought like maybe if I bought an interview microphone, I would start interviewing people, but I'm terrified of some people and social interaction to an extent. So I've been using the microphone to force myself to interview people.
Just give me like a quick run through of what some of the videos you've made like in the last 6 months are. What are some of the topics, random topics you've covered?
Well, over the last 6 months for speaker stuff, I've done quite a bit of those. I've done traveling videos, like I went to the Grand Canyon. I went to a dog park and talked to dogs. I also went and talked to geese at a different park. What are some of the other things I've done? It's funny because like as I think about it, I'm like, wow, this is all a blur. I just kind of pop them out. I pop them out so fast, like I'm not even thinking about them. Yeah, so the geese video that I did, I just had to get out of the house. I just found out that my dad had, I got a phone call that day actually, that my dad, cancer had spread to stage 4. And he's been through cancer before and it's fine, but this was definitely a much more serious one because it spread to his lung and his stomach and on a lymph node. So we were like, all right, this is much potentially more of a catastrophic kind of cancer. So I was pretty upset. And so I just needed to go somewhere. And my friend had already shown me this park that I went to that had a lot of geese. And then I just kind of went out there. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and I just started trying to talk to the geese. And I just wanted to like be out in nature, I guess. Something about being outdoors feels like I'm not so trapped. Like if I get outside, like my thoughts won't keep like creeping in or something like that. It's like I'm that guy at the urinal that can't pee if I can't hear anything else. Like I just get too much anxiety, so I have to count. If I'm peeing next to somebody in the urinal, like I'll just start going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, and it's like me, like if you're next to a friend, is it a little awkward?
It's probably a lot less awkward next to a friend, but I would probably still do it just because it makes it easier to pee. Yeah, so if you see I'm not praying, if you see my mouth moving very quickly. Fucking thing's getting loose. Oh my God. I can't see my frame. My knees hurt so much. I just talk to myself and whoever else will watch my videos. That's the problem though, it's like because I made speaker videos, I made so many of them that I was like, this is not good. These are great information for people, but it's like has nothing to do with who I am as a person, and I feel like I'm not connecting with anybody, and that desire to like not feel lonely is probably a huge component of it. Like for instance now, making videos is, I'm trying to do it a little bit more about who I am, maybe interlaced with some other things people are interested in, and find that happy balance. And eventually maybe it will just be more about what I'm into and less about what's commercially viable. Because I sold my soul to the devil a little bit by trying to chase the dragon, the money dragon of video. This is when I do my monologue. This is when I would do my voiceover and be like, so that's when I realized that nature made me feel better. It never does.
Hey Danny, tell me about your nightmares.
Evans has a way with opening up his things. The last nightmare I had that I remember, my dad and me were in a parking lot, and it was like Kroger or something. And my dad had his beanie on because he was going through chemo. And for some reason, he started running away from me in the parking lot. Like, it was almost like his body was like possessed, and he was running away from me, and he started running really fast, and I started running after him, but he kept getting away from me, and I was really surprised because I'm definitely faster than my dad, but he started running so fast and so far away that I saw him fall down and collapse at some point, and I remember it really freaked me out because I was like, Dad, get up, and he wouldn't get up.
You have a lot of nightmares?
Mm-hmm. There's a stillness out here that's palpable.
Do you find that stillness comforting?
I don't know. It's just still. What it does is like it's so quiet out here that it's like you hear all your thoughts.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I've probably a good thing. It's like quiets everything down for you long enough to start thinking. No, but it's true, Evan. It's like I do come out here thinking that like, and I do kind of deal with my thoughts, but like it's like there's a window that's been opened and there's a cold draft coming in and you can never close that window. And it's always there. That's what it's like.
It's really sad and haunting.
That's what trauma does to you, I guess. When I come out here by myself and try and get away from everything, the funny thing is no matter what I do,
it doesn't solve the problem.
It never solves the problem. Work comes back into my mind, anxiety comes back into my mind, and you try and deal with those thoughts, but then you realize they're completely unreasonable. And it's like some lady, oh, that's not to be sexist. It's some person inside of my mind that's just like, hey, worry about this. Then what if this happens?
Hey, I gotta work tomorrow.
You're gonna fail. That's like the mind. And so then you try to talk to them and you're like, actually, I've been doing this for 7 years. I'm not gonna fail at it. And they're like, you're gonna fail. As if like you'd never said anything to them. It's like talking to a child.
So you feel like a failure all the time?
No, I don't feel like a failure.
You're just scared that you might fail.
I'm scared that something's gonna blow up and hurt people.
There it is.
I do think though, like, I do the films because like I don't know how to deal with my feelings, and it feels like by picking up a camera or whatever, it is the only way I know how to get the feeling out. I would die if I didn't have that. If I just sat in my house with these feelings that I have sometimes, I would just explode. Ah! But to bring it back to that idea about happiness, I think the idea of doing something that is meaningful to you and makes your life purposeful. Like, so what makes me happy is like going out and making stories about things, even if it's just for like YouTube. It's funny because like everyone's answer about happiness is going to sound really cliche because you're not in their head. You don't really understand the nuances of what they're trying to explain.
I do feel like after your explanation though, it's pretty easy to say, if I would say, are you happy? It's probably a no.
Or I would say
or there's more unhappiness than happiness. the proportions are off.
I would say I'm probably predisposed to depression, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm just wired that way. Like, it may be a chemical thing, and it may be a little bit of a life fulfillment issue, but definitely, yeah, especially lately. I've been really depressed
You
lately.
need to get some help.
Well, I can get help. That's how filmmakers kiss.